Yo, good evening, everybody. It's the Flying Piggy on Flying Pig United with another cheeky little Manchester United rundown news show, latest goings on sort of video for you lads and lasses. How are we all doing tonight? Thank you for joining us. We've got plenty to get into. Not all of it positive. Not really that much of it at all positive. But we got a lot of United news to get into tonight. Thanks for getting in here, everyone, at the start of the show. Let me just do a few shout-outs right here. Who've we got in here? Let's take a little look-see. We've got Kevin Kilbam. What's going on? Sanjay, Duncan, Robin, CC. Yes, indeed. Natalia Zamina, PJ, Pete Morris, Jonathan Gallagher. How are you doing? Goffey as well getting in here, lad. Mark Cook, Sancti, Eris, Duke of Rodtown. Get in there, my son. Jonathan, PJ, Connor Walsh. Musplay, Lee, A. Meyer, Dribbly, A, and everybody else as well. Thank you for joining us. Do us a favour at the start of this show. Smash the like button on it. Give us a big thumbs up. That will always help us out in boosting us up there on the old YouTube algorithm. Share it around if you want. The link is pinned at the top of the chat. You can give us a cheeky repost to the likes of x.com. Go over there, give us a repost, share it around wherever you can. That'd be awesome. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We're on here regularly doing the latest United news and also covering the latest games and content associated with Manchester United. That is what we do. We're going to be getting back into it raw with the regular content as well. Kate Cadet, he starts the show off with a bang. Trashford out, he says. I guess we best just get bang into it then. But yeah, do leave a like on it if you haven't done, and get yourself involved. It is a fully interactive show. So throughout the show, get in the live chat. We will be dipping in and out of the chat. We'll also have a big Q&A at the end of the show as well. So stick around for that. But yeah, Marcus Rashford is a very naughty boy. Out on the lash. We should start calling him Marcus Lashford. Guy's out on the lash, getting pissed out of his head. Who knows what he's up to? Phoning in sick for training, not turning up. Looks like he's going to be suspended. There was some bullshit Sun story going around earlier on that maybe he would be fined 2 weeks' wages. Yeah, not Golden Boy Marcus, it turns out. In my opinion, he absolutely should be fined. He absolutely should be dropped. He should be suspended even for a little period of time because, in my opinion, he's a talisman of the team. He's one of the biggest stars in the team. He's not just some 17, 18-year-old wet behind the ears melt. He's 25 now. Okay, it's not exactly the most mature of age, but it's also, you're not a little kid anymore. You should know better. And when you're one of the star players in the team, one of the highest paid players in the team, if not the highest paid player in the team, you've got to hold yourself with a certain level of professionalism and try and be a role model, but not just for your teammates, but also for the fan base. I mean, how many top footballers are there these days that are fantastic role models to look up to? I mean, I don't know about you, but there's a lot of footballers out there. I don't think there are particularly great role models. But when you're somebody like Marcus Rashford, who's known for being a role model off of the pitch and on the pitch, you know, but certainly you think about how he's sort of portrayed as this guy who's trying to help people, trying to feed kids and all that sort of stuff. You have to say that he's let himself down massively by all of this behaviour, you know. We thought we had a professional guy. Turns out he's not as professional as we thought. He's super highly paid. He's underachieving in terms of his performances. It's almost like he signed that contract 6 months back, whenever it was, a few months back, got his big fat payday, and then just completely down tools with his performances anyway. That's what it seems like. And then attitude-wise, it stinks. When you've got players like this going out, flaunting their selves out there where they should be focused on the task at hand and being professional, do it. Now, I understand there's another argument. Oh, yeah, people have got to live their lives and all this guff. No, not when you're a highly paid Manchester United footballer, professional athlete. There's certain sacrifices that you must make in order to be that person, to have that dream job. You've got to make certain sacrifices. Go out and party when you're 35, mate. Do a bloody full-on Gaza. But that's after your Manchester United career. When you're at United, got to stay professional, got to be committed. I think he's let himself down massively, guys, here, Marcus Rashford. That's all I'm saying. Now, obviously, the big news that's coming out tonight, big breaking news, is that it seems like Marcus Rashford is going to be introduced back into the side. Now, obviously, at the last game against Newport, there was a question asked to Ten Hag about the status of Marcus Rashford and what's going on there. And he basically just said that it's an internal matter, they'll deal with it. You know, I mean, let's just look at the latest. So this is from Laurie Whitwell, who says that there's a statement from Manchester United which reads that Marcus has taken responsibility for his actions. This has been dealt with as an internal disciplinary matter, which is now closed. Rashford is back in training, will be available for selection versus Wolves on Thursday. And then also, just to reiterate that, Fabrizio Romano a few minutes later said, breaking Manchester United statement on Marcus Rashford. Marcus has taken responsibility for his actions. This has been dealt with an internal disciplinary matter, which is now closed. Now closed. So it's been dealt with and it's closed. What does this mean? Now, as far as I'm concerned, what that means is, yeah, he's back in training, it's closed, so it's all forgotten about then. Hang on. It's like one rule for one for another at this football club, to be fair. This star boy, Marcus Rashford, I don't know. He can do no wrong, it seems. Why are people like Sancho, and I think Sancho's a melt, by the way, but why is he being so like heavily punished and ostracised and basically like exiled from the team? Marcus Rashford, couple of days in the sin bin, and he's straight back in there after going out on the bag. You know what I mean? I don't understand. What is going on? There should be some sort of level of consistency with the authority here from the likes of Ten Hag and Manchester United if this guy has done what he's supposedly done. I mean, I'm not talking about just chucking him away and throwing away the key or anything. I'm talking about maybe punishing him, giving him a 2 weeks fine, potentially suspending him from the side for a week or two. You know, some sort of statement which says, we don't want these sorts of melts around here who are going to perform like absolute bottle bags and play and not be focused on and off the pitch. It doesn't send the right message, I think, when you're just allowing him straight back into the side. So, I think United or Ten Hag United probably dealt with this a little bit wrong. If somebody has called in sick for training when they've been out on the piss the night before, they should be punished. They should be punished, particularly when they are supposedly one of the biggest role models in the team and the highest paid player in the team. Smash a 1 if you agree with me. Smash a 2 if you disagree and you think, no, let him back in against Wolves, and that is the correct level of discipline. He's had a couple of days with the cold shoulder of Ten Hag. Maybe that's enough. Get your thoughts and opinions in. 1 if you agree with me, or 2 if you think that no, it's just justice is taking course, and Rashford should be back in. Let us know. Chris Koo agrees. Pete Chambers agrees. Let's go. Nice one. Looks like a lot of you agree with me, and you think that Marcus Rashford's just been letting off a little bit lightly here. Right, let's just talk about Rashford for a second, guys, because Rashford last season, incredible, fantastic player for us, match winner, star player, best player of the season for us, yada, 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 yada. Yeah, it doesn't matter. That's in the past, that's last year. You've got to continue this at Manchester United. You've got to reach a certain standard. You don't have one good season and then just go into the shadows. One good season, get a massive payday of a contract, and then piss off. You can't do that. You've got to continue to perform as a Manchester United player, which he hasn't done since signing that contract and since last season, if we're being honest, not to any sort of consistent level anyway. Very, very disappointed with the guy. But because of that, you would think he'd be trying extra hard and extra focusing extra hard to try and get his career back on track at United because he has had such a poor season. But no, instead he seems he's being a little bit unprofessional with his recent behaviour, which is a big shame. Gutted I am, guys. Absolutely gutted about the whole Marcus situation. Last season, I thought he was coming on to be one of our star players, one of the greatest players of our era, this current era anyway, for Manchester United. But no, I don't know. Based on his potential, based on his ability. And let's just ask the live chat, guys. Would you keep him now, or would you just flog him if there was an opportunity that arose in the summer? 70 mil to Spain or 80 mil to Saudi or whatever. Would you sell him or would you keep him? Based on his attitude and his performances. That's it, really. You've got to look at his actual quality. He's a quality player, but you've got to look at his performances and his attitude. Man United have a fundamental bottle bag mentality. The problem with United is, gone are the days of Brian Robbo, gone are the days of Roy Keane, gone are the days of the leaders and the bollocky people that we had at the club. That's not really a thing. But people with bollocks is what I was meaning. People with bollocks. We used to have people with bollocks. Not anymore, guys. That ship has sailed. That ship has sailed, the bollock ship has set sail, and now we've just got the empty sack posse. And the empty sack posse at this football club are abundant. There's a few people with some bollocks. Sure, we've had some winners out there, not at this club, but at previous clubs that have come into this club and they've won and they've been great players for other clubs. But largely, there's a lot of characters in this club which just are not good enough for the football club, and they don't have that strong enough mentality to be a United player. And Marcus Rashford probably just about falls into that category now of being one of those players who just doesn't have the right mentality. He's a bit of a bottle bag, bit of a bollockless melt. And then, maybe we should start to sort of look to the future a little bit here. United, it's a shame to say, after we spent 400 million under Ten Hag, we actually still need a major overhaul, don't we? We need a major overhaul. Empty sack posse, yeah, indeed. Accountability. Prod by Palmeiras, need accountability, don't we? Everyone's going to make mistakes in life. Like Rashford going out on the lash and missing training, it's not the end of the world. I'm not just saying, you know what, let's sell him to Kettering Town tomorrow. Drop him to the reserves and never let him play again. He's a good player, and he's been good for us in the past, and he's Manc born and bred and all that stuff, or whatever that means, or whatever it counts for, which counts for something, but it doesn't count for everything. You've also got to perform and be the business on the pitch. But I'm not saying get rid. I'm just saying you've got to punish, you've got to have that authority, you've got to have a consistency and accountability, as you've just said there, Prod. You've got to have accountability, and if you're going to make mistakes, which people do, people are human, you've got to be held accountable for your actions, and I don't think he has been. Maybe he's held his hands up, judging by these reports or the statement from Manchester United, and said, look, I am really sorry. I've acted like a spotty little teenage twat, and I've gone out on a night out with the lads, and I thought I could come into training and handle it the next day, but I was absolutely minging the next morning, hanging out my arse. I hold my hands up, it would never happen again, I'm a shithouse, kick me in the bollocks, Erik Ten Hag, and let's get back to work. Maybe that's what's happened, but fundamentally, it's not good enough. He's got to sort himself out. Atkins21. Atkins21, how are you doing? Thank you for the super chat. Get some Sues in there for the man. Atkins, thank you for the super chat of a red devil, mate. Go on, my son. Love that. Thank you very much, Atkins, for the tip there. Well, Chris Weens. I don't know, Chris Weens. Piggy, tell me how doesn't have the personality of a goldfish. Tell me he doesn't. I mean, he doesn't have the personality of a goldfish, to be fair, Chris, because a goldfish basically forgets what he's doing every 7 seconds, whereas Ten Hag's been consistently a little bit garbage this season for a while now. So, I don't think so. I think he's not like a goldfish at all. Anyway, right, by the way, guys, if you're just getting in the stream, keep hitting that thumbs up button. Every little like helps the stream. It just take a little tickle of the thumbs up button, and it may boost us up on the algorithm. Supposedly, that's what it does. Push us out there to a few more people, etc. If you haven't done so, please drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you're here for the first time. You do need to be subbed to get in the chat. You only need to be subscribed for a second, so get yourself in there. Right, personally though, guys, I think it's probably time that, United in the summer had a bit of a clear out of some of these melters. Who knows what's going to happen with the future? Erik Ten Hag, let's get on to Erik Ten Hag just for a moment. A little bit of a detour here onto Erik Ten Hag. But Erik Ten Hag, very unconvincing with his management of the football club right now. United are sat in 8th place in the league. It's pitiful. And the style of the team is pitiful. We're making games out of Newport County. We're giving them lifelines. We're letting them back into it. The performances aren't really up to scratch. And they haven't been for a consistent amount of time. So in regards to Ten Hag, I mean, I'm basically at the stage now where I think it's... I think he's pretty much shown that he can't get this set of players to change, and he can't get them to perform consistently to a standard that is befitting United. He's had plenty of time now, to be honest, and he's also had a lot of money. I'm not one for saying, just chop and change managers like that. But if you believe that you're maybe going down the wrong direction, should you just continue blindly down that direction, or should you make a bold change? No pun intended. I don't know. I mean... It's not like I'm screaming from the rooftops Ten Hag out at this moment in time, because I don't think it's realistic anyway. The board are going to stick with him for the time being. We assume that there may be a change coming at some point because of the fact that Ineos is now controlling things, and if Ten Hag slips up and continues down this path of being mediocre, they will make a change in the summer. Like his time at the football club is probably not that long, unless he has a really fantastic few months and we start winning, playing great football, stylistically looking decent and not absolutely crumbling all over the gaff. If that happens, then yes, Erik ten Hag maybe has a future beyond this summer. But the reality is, unless he really does go on a run now and do fantastic things, he probably will be changed in the summer. I don't know. I mean, what do you think, guys? Ineos, will they keep or will they sack Erik ten Hag sometime between now and the start of next season? Let us know what you think. Will they keep him? Not what you want, not what I want. I'm just saying, will Ineos keep him or sack him before then? Chris Koo, thank you so much for getting in here, my friend. With a super chat, Chris Koo, cheers, boss. He says, bollocky people. That's why you're a legend, mate. I don't even know how that came out, really. That's what she said. Chris Koo, thank you very much indeed for that super chat there. That's very kind of you, mate. Much love. Sack says Iceman. Based on right now, Sack says Jonathan. Ten Hag out says Satsuma. Sack says Amaya. They're going to keep him, says Pod. I mean, I suppose you have to let it play out, don't you? Because we could say, oh, they're going to keep him. But they're not going to keep him if he goes on and continues in the same sort of vein of football that we're playing at the moment. And if we're 8th place at the end of the season, I don't think they will keep him. I think they will make a change. And plus also, you've got to look at like other managers and when they're available. There's something very important in regards to football management and timing to get a job. Like sometimes these managers that are only around, like these generational managers, are around for a brief period where they've just finished a job and they're looking for another job. And if you don't have a space available to take them on, you might stick with some melter and miss out on the next Pep at City or the next Klopp at Liverpool or, that type of vibe. So I don't know. I mean, who knows? All I know is I am not happy with the football. Ten Hag's melting with the overall management of the team because of the way that they're playing. And I'd love to say, oh, he's making all the right choices and selections and substitutes and all this kind of thing, and the players are just letting him down. I do think we've got to obviously hold the players accountable because they're shite. A lot of them do have melter mentalities like we discussed a few moments ago. But also Ten Hag, he's the guy choosing the team. He's bought quite a few of those players. Not all of them are still melters from the previous regime there, but he's bought a lot of them. He's setting them up. He's deciding the tactics and motivating the team, changing the players throughout the game, the substitutions, the half-time team talk, all the rest, every single aspect of the coaching, whether it's delegating it to obviously all of his staff. He's managing every aspect of the team. And if he was doing a great job, now I know we've got all these off-the-field issues, but if he was doing a great job, surely having spent 400 million, we would be playing better than a League Two side, which is pretty much what sort of a standard you could expect to hope for half the time. Obviously, half the time we do turn up, but the other half of the time, we do look like a League Two guff side. I mean, Newport were not absolutely disgraced the other day against us. We beat them in the end. We beat them reasonably convincingly, but they were in it, and they're 16th in League Two. So they've been drubbed up a lot of times this season by League Two sides, which is why I'm saying half the time we do look like that guff standard out there. So, a lot of players need to go. Ten Hag might stick around beyond the summer, but only if he has a fantastic run between now and then. Otherwise, Ineos might sack him because, you think about who's available. Yeah, there's lots of managers who pop up. You might miss out on getting a special manager who could come in and do the job. But I don't know, guys. I mean, he's going to have to go on some heck of a run, but I think maybe the writing's on the wall there. And Anthony, Anthony is his star man, isn't he? Well, not his star man, but he's the guy that he paid the amount of money for. It's just beyond thinking about. 80 odd million for Anthony, which is crazy because he is a one-legged melt. He can't do the fundamentals of a right winger. Maybe as a left winger, but not a right winger. And he's the guy who's managed him. He's the guy who selects him. He's done well against Newport. Nice. He found his level there, didn't he? But he's not been good throughout the season. He wasn't really convincing for last season. And this is Ten Hag's big pick. And that doesn't really look good on Ten Hag either. And I can't imagine there'd be too many managers if there was someone to come in and replace Ten Hag that would want to stick with Anthony out there on the right wing. I don't think there would be. I wouldn't. And I don't think most of you would based on what we've seen. But yet Ten Hag does. Very suspect decisions, very suspect substitutions the other day. Just suspect stuff from Ten Hag has me questioning a lot of things. Just on Anthony, I hope we sell the guy, but we won't, not while Ten Hag's here, because he's his mate. He's his mate, isn't he? So, of course, we won't do anything while Ten Hag's here. But Fab said this a few hours ago. This was tweeted out by Fab. He said the exclusive. Anthony's agent Pedroso on stories about Saudi move, because he's been linked away, with a potential move to Saudi Arabia at some point. He said that we've not received any communication from Man United about Anthony and potential transfer for January or summer window. Anthony has his head focused on doing his best for Manchester United and improving his numbers. He's going to have to improve his numbers a lot, aren't they? Because those are some shite numbers. Okay, fair enough. So I can only hope that it's true. I can only hope that there has been some big juicy offer from Saudi and we're prepared to just cut our losses and let him go. Because I think he's pretty bang average, guys. I mean, what do you reckon, guys? Keep or sell Anthony Dos Santos? But if that was true and there was a potential for him to go to Saudi in Jan, I'd be happy with letting him go and then give opportunities to other people such as, the Diallos of this world. It can't be any worse. First statement, yep. Sell him, says must play. Sell, says the Cake Cadet. Like your style. Chris Koo, thank you very much for the £10 super chat there, Chris Koo. Come on. See for Chris Koo. Let's call in the doves from above for Chris Koo there. Thank you for the tenner there, lad. Cool. I appreciate you, mate. Get in. He says, we've had a lot of players come back recently. He needs to stop playing McTominay and Maguire, for example. I'll give him another couple of Premier League matches, see how it goes, but it needs to turn around quick. That's it. Back to the wall jobby for Ten Hag now. Perform or die. Basically, you either do the job or you're going to get sacked off, aren't you? You've got to get these wins mounting up now and go on a run right now. Otherwise, the writing's going to be on the wall for you. So, okay, fair enough, Chris. I like your style there. He definitely needs to stop selecting those melts. Look at that game against Newport. Perfect opportunity to put in some youngsters. A couple. You don't have to put a whole team of youngsters out there. Blood a few youngsters. Okay, then, don't want to start the youngsters. Want to get the job done first, do you? So you don't get any pie on your face. All right, then. Well, then. Substitute on some youngsters later on when you've got the tie wrapped up. But no, he substituted on the likes of Maguire and McTominay and co. Same old shite. Doesn't really add up. I don't understand that. So I agree with you. Why play those melts? Give some opportunities to others. We know what these guys are capable of doing. It's not very much. Great shout there, Chris Koo. Thank you very much, Chris Koo. That's very nice of you, mate. Get in there, you Don. Mark says Anthony's a proper winger. Proper whinger. Maybe he's a proper whinger, but I don't think he's a proper winger. Maybe if you put him out on the left wing, he could be a good winger. I personally think he could, but I don't think he's a great winger on the right-hand side for all the reasons we've talked about many times. He's got one foot. It's easy to defend against. Play him onto his weaker foot, and he's not really going to cause you all that much trouble, more often than not. You agree? Exactly. Yeah, but Tony's bang average. A lot of bang average players at the football club. Do you know who I think should have been given some opportunities, particularly over the likes of Anthony in recent times when he's been guff? This is another criticism I've got of Eric Ten Hag, I'll be honest. Where is this sort of Manchester United history and mentality and tradition of blooding youngsters and bringing youngsters through? There's a couple that have been involved, but it's just not really good enough. And when you've actually got talented players, talented youngsters that look good when they do get the rare opportunity, but then you don't give them more opportunities, it's massively frustrating when you continue down the road of playing Anthony and melts like this, when you could maybe give an opportunity to a Facundo Pellistri or an Amad Diallo or something like that. It is very frustrating, especially when you hear, like from Fabrizio Romano earlier on today, that exclusive Granada have agreed on terms for Facundo Pellistri to join on loan from Man United, but deal now depends on Eric Ten Hag's green light. All parties are waiting for a final approval by Man United manager. Documents and also travel being prepared then it's here we go. What the fuck are we doing, guys? We're going to get rid of Facundo Pellistri on loan to Granada. I mean, I get it. If he's not going to play, which it doesn't seem like he is going to play, loan him out, getting some game time, some senior football, getting some game time. But why aren't we playing the guy? He's actually a talent. He actually looks pretty good. He's got a potential. He's got a future. Better than one-legged pogo stick melter Anthony, if you ask me. So we could have been playing him, but no, we're going to be loaning him out, are we? And sticking with Anthony. What? Why? What's Ten Hag on here, guys? I don't understand. Just because he spunked the money on this guy, he has to blindly stick with him? Man, we've got other options. So very frustrated there, guys. And very frustrated we didn't see somebody like Amad Diallo come off the bench in the last game and maybe, get a chance there. So all these youngsters that could be stars in the future, they're being held back right now, I think. They're being held back. And instead of other people who have massive potential out there. We've got people in there who don't seem to be performing. It's sink or swim at United. We've got a bunch of fucking dead weights sinking right to the bottom of the swimming pool in the likes of Anthony. And yet we're sticking with him. I don't understand. Must praise as Anthony has dirt on Erik ten Hag. Surely that's the reason he plays. Ahmad wants to go to Sunderland. Yeah, so Ahmad Diallo reportedly liking posts about, from Sunderland fans, or some Sunderland posts suggesting if Man United are going to give him game time, we'd love to give him some game time back at Sunderland. And apparently like some post. I don't blame him. It must be highly frustrating when you're out in the cold, even if you are a youngster. If you're out in the cold anywhere and you want to play football and you're not, it must be quite frustrating, especially if you've maybe been given opportunities to go out on loan elsewhere and been not allowed to. So I'd be frustrated too. Fair enough if you've got Ryan Giggs in front of you. If you're a left winger, you've got Giggs in front of you, okay, you're in trouble. If you're a right mid and you've got Bex in front of you, okay, you're going to have to appreciate you're not going to be playing that much. But when you've got smegging Anthony Dos Santos there, stinking up the gaff, and you're not getting in ahead of him, it must be quite frustrating. Or you're not even coming off the bench. It must be quite frustrating. And Jadon Sancho, obviously, went off to Dortmund. He's off to Dortmund. He's doing well at the moment. It doesn't impress me much, to be fair, Bundesliga guff. But he must have been quite frustrated as well, watching Anthony Dos Santos go out there and perform like a fidget spinner and barely do jack all where he was not getting those opportunities. But he is a bit of a lazy bastard, so I don't have any sympathy for him. But I'm just saying, there obviously are players that deserve opportunities potentially ahead of the likes of Anthony, yet don't get it. And that is why Ten Hag is melting at the moment, I think, because he should be playing players based on deserving to play. And it's not just the fact of, this player's had a shite game, let's drop him. If you want to stick with somebody to show faith, that's fine. But when they've had 10 shit games in a row, make a decision. Give a chance to somebody else. When a youngster has come on and looked lively in a game and looked good for 20 minutes when you've rarely given them a chance, give them another chance. They might grab that chance rather than stick with a proven melter. So these are the sort of progressive decisions that I'm not seeing from Erik ten Hag, and that is what pisses me off about it. Anthony is a one-trick pony, and everyone knows the trick. Yep, easy to defend against the guy, mate. Show him onto his weak foot. He can't whip a ball in with his right boot. So, well, there you go, Colin. But I just don't understand fundamentally why we are actually going to be getting rid of Facundo Pellistri on loan. We could actually utilise the guy. He's a pretty good player. Pretty good young player. He's got a big future. Right, nice one. Okay, so anyway, very frustrating, guys. I'm going to get into the live chat for a few minutes about this whole Rashford, Ten Hag debacle and stuff. Let's hear your thoughts and opinions. But me personally, I'm a little bit disappointed that we haven't been a bit more authoritative with Rashford, because I think it just sets a bad precedent. You've got to be held accountable for your actions at this football club. It can't be one rule for one and one rule for another. If there is big breaking news and it's all announced, Rashford's going to be back in the Wolves game, I think it's being too light on the guy, to be honest. Just because he is who he is. He's such a superstar. He's paid so much money. He's one of our big players. Doesn't mean he's above the law. But I think Ten Hag, it seems, if you believe these statements that are reported, and it's from the likes of Fab and Co, so we've got no reason not to. It's directly from Man United, a statement about Rashford being back in, and he's taking responsibility for his actions. Right, let's get into the chat for a few minutes, see what you legends are saying. As always, keep hitting the thumbs up so if you're just joining the stream, and have your say. We've got a couple of other little bits and bobs to talk about as well, but we will have a Q&A in a bit as well anyway. Yeah, exactly, CC. So Ahmad Diallo was playing really well for Sunderland last season. They would probably want him back, I'm sure. And if he's not going to play at United, he should go back there, and then at least he's going to develop and get game time and opportunities and be happy playing his football. He's not getting that at United, especially if he's on social media liking posts alluding to him coming back to Sunderland and things like that. He must be frustrated. Keep Erik ten Hag, get rid of Rashford, says Larry Hasser. Interesting, yeah. I mean, Rashford, certainly I think we should be suspending the guy. He should have a couple of weeks out in the cold with no pay for that sort of behaviour. It's not just a youngster in the squad that's done this. He's a key member of the squad, and he's one of the highest paid members of the squad. In fact, he is the highest paid member of the squad, which means that he should be double accountable for his actions. Fries, he says Rashford's going nowhere because no one can afford him and player power at the club. Great points. Player power's gone absolutely mad these days. Ten Hag's had to butt heads with a good few people since he's come in. Some may say wrongfully, the likes of Ronaldo and obviously Sancho. He's had to butt heads with a couple of people, and player power seemingly is going mad these days. But in regards to what you just said about his transfer fee, or his wage and everything, who's actually going to pay a lot of money for Rashford? You might be able to sell Rashford because he's a megastar and he's only 25. He's got the best years ahead of him, so he has got massive value. But he's not going to be going for huge money because he's on so much wages. I think the amount of money you could get for Marcus Rashford this summer. He has got a long-term contract, which he's only just signed. It is about, 350 or 375k a week or something crazy like that. I mean, I think you could get 60 million, 70 million tops. But, it's actually low for a player like Rashford, but it's just because there's an attitude issue there. There's a drop-off in his performances, and there's also the fact that he's paid so much money that any club that's willing to take him on has to then afford his wages, and it just puts his overall transfer fee down. So, I don't know. I don't think United... Let's just get real for a second here. United aren't going to sell him, are we? No, that's where player power's going. We're not going to sell Marcus Rashford. He's hard to sell. He's hard to get any value from in a deal. He's almost more value just to keep and be bang average. Chris Coos has got a feel for Ten Hag, though, having to deal with all that happened since arriving. It's been crazy. Yeah, that's it. Tough stuff. I mean, would maybe a different sort of style manager have benefited that side? I mean, you look at the type of manager that, say, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was. He's very much a friendly manager in regards to how he runs things. Arms around the players, confidence booster. That's what it seemed like anyway. He's not falling out with Cristiano Ronaldo. He's not falling out with Sancho. He's not, but different styles. Maybe if it was a different approach, perhaps we'd still have Cristiano Ronaldo at this club right now banging goals. I don't know. I kind of think obviously his best years are beyond him. He might be the most goal scoringest player in the 2023, but it's the Farmers League, so it doesn't really count for much. But still, he is obviously a class act player. Come on, I mean, Cristiano Ronaldo, if he wasn't a dick and didn't do that Piers Morgan interview and criticise the players and the manager and stuff at the time, which I think was out there. Can't be doing that on, international sort of TV show like that. Expose vibes. If he hadn't have done that, obviously, or maybe if Oli had stayed, we'd probably still have Cristiano Ronaldo here now. Not saying that he would be, the Ronaldo of old, but he certainly had a good first season that he was here at United. What didn't he? He's just a classy player, Ronaldo. Just because he's that old doesn't mean that he's still not effective. He's still clearly effective. He's still clearly got an eye for goals, scores a shitload of goals over in Saudi. He wouldn't get anywhere near as many in the Prem, but he'd still get a lot. Shazad says he's crap and overrated. Who's that we're talking about now? Rashford? Yeah. Shazad, how are you doing, you long-time legend? I hope you're keeping well, mate. An absolute legend of the channel, Mr. Shazad Ahmed. By the way, guys, 130 likes. We're on our way to 150. Keep hitting the thumbs up button if you haven't done so. Help us get to 150. And subscribe to the show if you're new here for the first time. Get yourself involved. The manager is a double standard pig and his management style is shit. Fair enough. I mean, I can't defend his style, man. Definitely can't defend his style. And then double standards, it does seem like he's treating maybe players differently. Certain players get punished quite severely for, being late, and other players can phone in on a hangover, not turn up to training, and then back in 2 days later. It does seem like double standards. I've got to be honest, Jonathan, there is an element of that going on. Disco Dave, how you doing? He says, is it true Barca are in talks to try get Baldy Pep back to the new camp? Does it mean City know they're fucked with the allegations? That'd be amazing, wouldn't it, Disco Dave? Get rid of him out of City, and hopefully City facing punishments would be brilliant. Maybe, but I've also heard links with, Mikel Arteta. Who knows? There's a lot of BS links that go on. I don't think there's much basis to that either, but I've heard that Barca are interested in Arteta as well. Who knows? Chrissy J says, Ollie bought Sancho and Donny for over 100 million and benched them from the start. At least 10 hour plenty of signers. Chrissy J, not the best comment there, lad. I'll tell you why. My opinion on that comment. Because Donny van de Beek was bought for, 35 million? He was not bought by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, mate. I've not got a John Malkovich portal into Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's mind. But he wasn't bought by him, mate. Clearly. You know why? Because we didn't pig and need him. Ollie signed him, never played him, didn't want him, and he was bought for Ollie by the club. That's my humble opinion on that one. The recruitment side saw a good deal, a good value deal. Let's get this youngster who's developing at Ajax, who's in the mould of, he's coming through with that generation of those Dutch players, those Ajax players that came through, the likes of, De Ligt and, all these guys. And him, let's get him, he's cheap. I personally don't think Ollie wanted him, because if Ollie wanted him and signed him, he'd have been straight in the team, he'd have been given lots of chances. He didn't want him. He was just signed because he's a cheap deal and he might appreciate in value or whatever, open up this Dutch market, whatever, I don't know. But whatever the reason was, I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wanted the guy. Because it just didn't seem like it with how he didn't ever want to play the guy. But no, fair enough. Let's be honest, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was a decent coach for Man United. He genuinely was. Europa League final. Lost on a pen because David De Gea melted. Very, very close, isn't it? Like, very close, fine margins between success and failure. And if he had won that Europa League, he probably wouldn't have been sacked off a few months later. Yeah, but anyway, look, Ollie's not the big daddy for the job either. It takes a very, very special generational manager, I think, to take United where we need to be, which is right in the top. Yeah, true, Kate. We were better under Ollie, I think. Very much so. It wasn't good enough, but we were better. I don't remember us smashing him up 9-0 under Ten Hag, but under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, we did some stuff like that sometimes. We scored a lot of goals, actually, under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Yeah, hey, Johnny M. Thanks for getting a wee comment. He says, how will Sir Jim improve United? Well, we'd like to say there'll be, a significant improvement in all areas. That's the plan, isn't it? All different football operations. So every aspect of the football club running. So financial aspect of how the money's spent, where it's spent, what is spent on. Also things like recruitment, obviously recruitment, budgets, plan in terms of like what is the ethos of what you're trying to do with your recruitment and that kind of thing. Also, the facilities, the stadium, the background, like in terms of like the background staff, in terms of just everything, mate. They're in charge of football operations, aren't they? So they've got to try and improve every aspect of this football club. And then it obviously will come onto the pitch as well. So the most important thing is improving the team, making sure the team is improved and better. But fundamentally, you've got to try and improve all different football operations. This club is pretty toxic and it does need a lot of work in all areas, All areas need a lot of work. So it's not just as simple as saying, this needs improving, we need to work on recruitment, or we need to work on scouting, or we need to work on youth development, or whatever. No, you've got to work on it all and improve it all, because it's all been left behind in the 1990s. Grant Murray, thank you for your £5 super chat, Grant Murray, boss. Cheers, dude. He says, I suspect Rashford has done this to engineer a move out. He has many advisors and knows the city games. He'll leave in the summer. Absolute gash bag. Grant, interesting, but I must admit, unless this is like a recent change in mentality from Rashford, if he's really unhappy with him in the last few months and he's dead set on that, fair enough. But you have to remember, it's only a short while ago he signed a new contract. And yeah, it's a big money contract that's made him a very rich man. How can you turn it down? But he could have made himself arguably an even richer man if he'd have just run down his contract until the end of it, the last one. And then he could have just gone and signed for PSG or gone and signed for whichever club that he wanted to, and probably got paid more money because the club buying him would be willing to pay him a huge sign-on fee, huge agent fee for his agent, huge wages, because they then don't have to stump up a 50, 60, 70, 80 million pound fee for a world-class player, or what should be a world-class player, So because of that, I don't know, because I think Rashford, if he just wanted to move away, unless this is a recent thing literally in the last few months, I think he would have just worn down his contract and then just pissed off for a big money move on a free. Greenwood in, Anthony out. Greenwood, you see that goal he scored for Getafe, guys? He's a raw one, isn't he? If that's the case, any manager with marbles would grant his wish. What's going on, the mustard? Yeah, so if Rashford wanted out, and he wanted to engineer a move away, I agree with you, Mustard. I think, I think if there was a decent offer that came in, you'd definitely consider selling him, because he doesn't really look like a killer for us. He's not a killer, is he? Jordan Biggs, what's happening, boss? What's happening? Rashford met Sir Jim, then realised he's toast. Exactly, empty. 8th place in the league, boss. Totally gash, totally gash. Evening there, chat sport. What's going on, mate? Good to see you. Right, okay, well, yeah, so let me just do a quick rundown of what we discussed for anybody who's just getting in the stream. Then we're just going to get back in for a Q&A for a little while, see what you legends are saying. But basically, yeah, I mean, obviously United underwhelming at the moment. We've had a bit of a break. There's games coming thick and fast. We've got Wolves coming up on the 1st of Feb. Will Rashford be involved? Well, judging by this statement by Manchester United, yes, he will. So the news breaking tonight is that Manchester United's statement on Marcus Rashford. Rashford has taken responsibility for his actions, and this has now been dealt with as an internal disciplinary matter, which is now closed. Seems like Rashford's back in for the Wolves game. That's what it seems like. I don't think it's right because of his behaviour and the fact he's a role model, should be held to high standards, and if you don't meet those standards, you should be punished for not meeting those standards. And he hasn't met those standards. He's been very naughty by phoning in and missing training after a night out. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. So he should have been punished a bit more harshly, I feel, but I think that he is in for the Wolves game, it looks like, anyway. So Ten Hag backing down to some degree. Player power going mad here, it seems. Marcus Rashford, the golden child, he can do no wrong. Gash. Right, yeah, also, just as I mentioned earlier, there is a link with Anthony Dos Santos to Saudi Arabia. It seems like there's no real basis for it. His agent coming out and basically saying that there is no communication from Man United that they've received any offers or anything from Saudi. And then Facundo Pellistri to Granada, looks like that's basically done deal, joining on loan for the rest of the season. It depends on what Ten Hag wants, apparently, but he's not playing the guy, is he? And if this has really been agreed in terms of the terms for Facundo Pellistri to join them on loan, then it's probably quite likely that happens, which I think is a shame, personally. Right, yeah, that's basically the latest news, guys. Let's get into the live chat for a Q&A for 5-10 minutes. See what you legends are saying for yourselves. Have your say now. Do us a favour, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new, get your thoughts and opinions in as well. We're nearly at 150 likes. Keep hitting the thumbs ups. And yeah, let's get stuck in for a bit, guys. Great chat tonight, by the way. Is Onana back? Onana is back, mate. Yeah, Ten Hag confirmed yesterday that he will be back for the game on Thursday, mate. Oh, no! Andre Onana back in for the game, mate. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's a great question, actually. Let's ask this to the live chat. Based on what you saw from Bayender in that game against Newport County, and based on what you've seen from Andre Onana this season for Manchester United across the whole season, who would you play in goal against Wolves? For me, it's Bayender, because in this case, it's better the devil you don't know than the devil that you do. You know what I mean? Because I think that this current keeper we've got, Andre Onana, is a bloody liability. And because of that, yeah, I would give a chance to Bayender. It's not like he was amazing in that game against Newport, but he was decent. He looked all right, to be fair. I'll give him a chance because Onana's just a liability. Onana, says Johan. Bayender in. Bayender. Not Onana. Yes, doesn't even matter who it is, bro. Just not Onana, bro. Could be anybody. Get Doris the Teenadian, in, but just not Onana. Dave Street says Bayender. Leanne Reeson, what's going on? Leanne says Bayender. Madhouse, what's going on? Madhouse says Bayender. Onana, says Kieran. Bayender's weak, get Heaton. Put Piggy in goal, mate. Certainly would be up for the task compared to that Andre melt. Bayender, he really wasn't at fault for either goal, to be honest. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He certainly looked all right. He was dropped by Cameroon. Chris Koo, yeah, obviously they're out. There, he's coming back now. He should be back. Onana's damaged goods, says Ollie Khan. Confidence has been shot since he's come to United, hasn't he? He was flying high over at Inter. Champions League finals, getting nominated for Yashin Awards and the lot. And now he's had a fall from grace, yeah. Given the Wolves game, anyone but Onana, not Onana, Bayender. Yeah, I fancy Bayender in there as well. I think we know what we're going to get from Onana. He's a good keeper sometimes, but he's got that error in him, and I don't think he's ever going to get rid of that. The confidence, the pressure at United, it seems to just have got to him. He's made a heck of a lot of mistakes in a short space of time. Piggy's sister's dog could save more than Onana, says the mustard. Oh yeah, little Huxley, mate. Get him out there. Great number one. Seen front page of Sun. Rashford cannot play Thursday, says Daniel Hutchinson. Yeah, have you seen page 3 of the Sun? Well, not for a while because they got rid of it, but do you know what the Sun's good for, mate? Now there's no page 3, nothing. So yeah, it doesn't really mean anything, Daniel Hutchinson, mate. To be honest with you. If the Sun reports it, that basically means it's probably not true. Tom Heaton says the mustard. Torres the T80 wants a move. Onana's too bulky for a goalkeeper. Onana reminds me of when he had Barthez, mad keeper. You don't mean to be disrespectful to Onana, but does he look a bit out of shape? No, I don't really think so, Ollie Khan. You know, he's a bit built like a bit shithouse, isn't he? I don't know. I don't think he is out of shape. I think his mind is out of shape in terms of confidence at the football club right now. Does Daily Sport still exist? You what? 12 hours drinking, says Daniel. Toilet paper in a pinch. I just read out 3 comments in a row there. I don't even know what any of them are about. Oh, right. Toilet paper, yeah, The Sun. The Sun newspaper is toilet paper, and the Daily Sport is a newspaper. Yeah, I don't know, actually. The Sun's a good comic, but the Beano's better. Remember the glory days of the Sun, the good old days of Jordan. Ah, yes. Yeah, well, there you go. That's what I'm saying. But times have moved on, sadly. Disco Dave, you're flying to Forteventura in the morning. Oh, brilliant, dude. Oh, yeah. I'm so jealous, Disco Dave, my man. Oh, Forteventura, dude. Enjoy. That's going to be, I bet that's so nice and warm right now, man. I bet it's like 24 degrees every day. Oh, you jammy bastard. He doesn't have instincts, says PJ. Should have gotten Bunu. Yep, there you go. We can agree Onana can't dive. I mean, I don't know about that. I don't know what it is. He's got a floppy hand. Yeah, he's got a flappy hand. Rashford can't play Thursday. All that means to him is that he can catch a load on Wednesday night. Crikey. Bloody hell, Jeff. Right, I'm going to read a few more comments. I'll get your final thoughts in, guys. I'm going over and doing a FIFA stream, which is actually set up for 6 minutes' time, so I can't stay on ridiculously long tonight. But get your final thoughts and opinions in. You won't find a copy of The Sun anywhere in Liverpool. No, they bloody hate them, don't they? Due to their reporting of that whole, Hillsborough disaster. Chris Koo, thank you very much for getting in here with a 5 gifted memberships, my son. Legend. Thank you very much, Chris Koo. That's super kind, mate. 5 new members. Chris Koo's just gifted 5 members, guys. Make sure you give him some big thanks in the chat and break out the love hearts for him. Let me just see who it's been gifted to. Thank you, Chris. Jordan has been gifted 1. Yeah, Jordan Biggs, Larry Haas, Cheetah Chrome, Colonel Ward and Pete Morris. You are all new members of the channel. Enjoy your emojis, enjoy your naming green, enjoy your highlighted member comment. All thanks to Chris Koo. What a legend. Get in there, Christopher. Thank you very much. Yeah, break out the dubs for Chris Koo, everybody. That's awesome, mate. What a fantastic gesture there. Nice one. Legend. Yeah, thanks, Chris. There's Larry Hassett. He's loving it. Woody says, welcome, well done, Chris Koo, legend. Yeah, cheers for that, dude. Very, very kind of you. Very kind of you. I appreciate that, man. Let me get you the link, guys, for the FIFA stream that's coming up in a few. We are jumping over to the gaming channel. If you're not subscribed to the gaming channel, you're having a mare then, aren't you? It's called Flying Pig Gaming, and we're over there playing FC24 tonight and chilling and just bantering and all that sort of guff. So come and join us here. I'll put it in the live chat. Okay. There it is right there, guys. So yeah, please come over there in a bit, in like 5 minutes time or so. We will be on there. Yep. Kevin says if Rashford gets away with all discipline, it's gone. United are unmanageable. Surely Rashford shouldn't be on the actual. He may be back involved in training or whatever, but surely he shouldn't actually be getting selected in that game against Wolves. Starting the game, that would just send the wrong message. But by all accounts, maybe that is what's happening. Oh, I really appreciate it, Chris Koo, man. That's great, mate. I haven't even been on here that much recently, mate. But I will be getting on here with these. These are going to be happening every night again now, guys, and hopefully sometimes in the afternoon as well. So make sure you get involved. You was typing a long sentence about Onana's flaw, but it got removed because of the gifted sub. Oh, no, Jordan. Bloody hell. And then you wrote that whole essay afterwards. Crikey. I haven't seen it, Mabs, unless it's come out during the show. I haven't seen it. It's just that there was a statement via MUFC. This was reported by Fab and Laurie Whitwell and people. Here it is on the screen right there. So, I don't know, not that I've seen. Fries, thanks so much for becoming a member here, Fries. We've got a new member of the channel. It's Fries, everyone. 5 gifted members from Chris Koo and Fries becoming a member as well. Go on, my son. Thank you guys so much. Fries, welcome aboard the Bacon Express. Get your favourite emoji to welcome Fries. Ten Hag dead man walking, placeholder for the rest of the season? Maybe so, unless he goes on a miraculous run now and really does kick on. If so, undermine the manager big time. Players need to know they're not in charge. Spot on, agreed. Drop the guy, show your authority. Don't allow this precedent to take place, and not for one of your key role model players to do. 155 likes, nice one. Thanks everyone for hitting the thumbs up button. Great stuff. It helps us compete with clickbait wankers and corporation prats. So do continue to hit the thumbs up if you have not done so. Jordan says it's all right. Quickly, that one of my Nana's flaws is that pressure gets to him since he plays for a major football club. Yeah, seems like it. Michelle Ellis, thanks for the love hands there. Fries, get in there, Fries. Yeah. Right, guys, I'll wrap this up. We are going to go and play FIFA right now. We're going to be coming up with regular United content. Keep your eyes peeled on the channel. Click the bell icon for notifications. Subscribe. Click the like. All that stuff. Follow the other channel, Flying Pig Gaming. It's at the top of the live chat. It's pinned. Go over there. Subscribe to Flying Pig Gaming if you're not. You can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Kick. Flying Pig United on all platforms. Legends, get in there, you legends. Thanks for watching. Come back after this video is finished if you want to have your say on any of the topics we've discussed, Rashford and all this situation, him supposedly being back in. Let us know your thoughts, guys. Thank you, Urbano. Appreciate you, my son. Thank you, Jonathan Gallagher and the Mustard. Appreciate you, the Mustard. And all the moderators, thank you so much for moderating the chat. And all the members, thanks for supporting the show there. And everybody else, MT and everyone getting in the chat here. Thanks for interacting, guys. Yep, see you on the next one. We'll be bringing the latest United news tomorrow and back on the other channel in 5 minutes for some gaming action. Nice one, Pete, John Boy, Chris, Miz, Kieran. Once again, thanks to Chris and everyone. All the super chats, all the members there. Bunch of legends. Catch you in a bit, lads and lasses. Thanks for watching. Remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, as this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much.